In today's video, we are going to go straight into my market recap. What are the things that happened to me last week? What are the trades that I took? Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Aurelie. I am a green forex trader who is documenting her trading journey here on YouTube. So if you're interested in content like this, please do not forget to comment, like and subscribe to my channel so that my video can be recommended to much more people. Thank you very much. In today's video, we are going to go straight into my market recap. What are the things that happened to me last week? What are the trades that I took and the lessons that I learned? Also, the market forecast for next week, without forgetting the fact that I am going to tell you how I plan on making my trading better next week. So as per usual, I have every note written on this book and we are going to go according to the note. Also, I'll be taking you to the chart to show you the different trades that I took within the week. So we are going to start with the market recap. I had 5 trading days out of 5 this week and I made mistakes here and there. I'm human, so please. On Monday I took 2 trades. That was Euro USD and JBP JPY. On Tuesday I took 1 trade. Wednesday I took 1 trade. On Thursday I took a trade and I got bored and I took a lot of trades later on. And on Friday I took 1 trade. That went really well. So we are going to start with the trade that I took on Monday. I took 1 trade and on my first trade I was risking $90. I'm sorry, but on the second trade I followed my actual risk management and everything went on well. Thank you very much. On Tuesday I took 1 trade and I was not so sure of that trade and I did not risk a lot. I risked like $7 and that trade took me out with a loss. On Wednesday I followed everything. I was risking a 1:2 and my plan was so unchecked and I hit TP. On Thursday was the same thing. Everything was going on well. Then I got bored and I took random trades and they took me out. Friday, which was finally the last day, I took 1 trade and I hit TP on Friday. Now taking my balance to $4,922. Remember that at the beginning of the week I was out of drawdown, but after taking that $125 loss I went into drawdown again. This week I am still in drawdown, but we are hoping to get out of drawdown next week. Now I'm going to take you to the chart right now and I'm going to show you every trade that I took and the reason behind those trades. So let's go. I cannot count the number of times I've tried to record this video, but each time I try to record it, either my phone falls down or my phone shows that there's not enough storage. But I'm going to record this video regardless, and YouTube better pushes this video. We are going to start with Euro USD because that was the first trade that I took and gave me a stop loss for this week. So let's go to the 15-minute time frame and I'll show you exactly the trade that I took and why I took that trade. So when it comes to Euro USD, this is the trade that I took right here, and this trade was actually in a buying market. But the problem here is that I was trying to sell along this retracement because I knew that price was going to retrace to this fair value gap or even this other block here, not to this fair value gap here at a 50% before it goes to my next direction. Now as I enter this trade trying to sell, the reason why I entered was because I saw this change of character right here. So when I saw this change of character, I had this fair value gap, so I knew that price was going to tap me in and drops down. But unfortunately that was not the case. Price took me out. Now the next trade was this one, and I'll show you from the daily perspective why exactly I took this trade. If you look at it from the daily, we had this bullish uptrend, and last week I was looking out for price to mitigate this other block and this fair value gap, which are my key zones. So price actually did that, but before price did that, we had this fair value gap down here. Let's mark that out. You see that price tapped into the fair value gap down here. Price actually tapped into the fair value gap. Immediately price tapped into the fair value gap.
Charge me, Ivana.
Low as my previous my daily swing low. Take it to the chart and I'm going to show you every trade that I took this week, and we are going to start with Euro USD. When it comes to Euro USD, this is where my main point was at. Now I'll take you to the daily time frame to show you why I took this trade on the daily time frame. On the daily time frame we had this, let me close this. On the daily time frame, we had this fair value gap. Immediately price tap into this fair value gap, it reversed to the upside. When it reversed to the upside, I saw this zone as my daily swing low, and I saw this zone as my daily swing high. So I went to the 4 hours time frame, and I wanted to see what happens on the 4 hours time frame, because the lower the time frame, that is how you refine your structure or your setup. Okay, on the 4 hours time frame, when I was looking at this chart, I saw this change of character with fair value gap and order block. So the moment price tapped me into it, I took my first entry here. As a swing trader, I was actually looking at this from a swing perspective. Now for the second entry, I went to the 15-minute time frame, and I was looking for a change of character. Immediately price reversed to the downside. So price reversed somewhere, I don't know, a lot of things are just so messy today, but price reversed, changed character here, reversed into this zone, tapped me in, and it went forward. Now I want to talk about this trade that I took and the reason why I took this. Now let's talk about the market forecast when it comes to Euro USD. This week I am trading Euro USD and JBP JPY as usual, and I am targeting minimum 1:3 and maximum 1:4 this week. If I see a setup that is 1:3, 1:2 minimum, 1:4 maximum, so my target should be from 1:2 to 1:4. And also I am risking $30 in return for a 60, a 90, or a 120. That is it. Okay, now let's talk about the market forecast. When we look at it from this perspective, remember that I was saying that I was waiting for price to tap into this this point of interest, which is an order block on the daily time frame. Now that price have, I will be looking more to sell than to buy. Okay, we might see a sell onto this zone here, I don't know, but when I go to the 4 hours time frame to look very well, you're going to see that. Let's delete everything, please, it's a lot. Let's go back to the daily time frame. The chart was too dirty. The daily, we had this other block here, and we had this other block here, and we had this fair value gap right here. Right, that is what we have on the daily. Now price has tapped into our daily point of interest, which is our order block. So I go to the 4 hours time frame. On the 4 hours time frame, I want to see a change of character. Price has given us this change of character here on the 4 hours time frame, right? Price has given us this change of character right here. Now if you go to the 1 hour, you're going to see that it's even clearer. Like we have this change of character, price mitigated. Let's not forget the fact that the 4 hours is still very bullish, right? We have this bullish break of structure here, and we have our order block right here. Now we are going to confirm a complete sell to the downside if price breaks below this order block here. If price breaks below this order block, then we know that we are going to be selling on Euro USD this week. However, I am still going to be looking to sell up to this zone here and buy. If I get here, I'm going to wait for a, how do they call it, I'm going to wait for a confirmation to buy more, or maybe to skip selling. That is it for Euro USD. Now let's go to JBP JPY. When it comes to JBP JPY, this is another pair that I really love to trade. If we go to the daily time frame, as per usual, let's start with the weekly because we are at the end of the week. You're going to notice that this week closed bearish, right? The week closed overall bearish. We have our previous weekly high, previous weekly low here. Now when we go to the daily time frame, remember that we had this break of structure. Also, I am waiting to see price tap into this other block here before we keep buying, because overall we want to take out this high here. All right, we want to take out this high here. This high has this fair value gap here. Let's draw this fair value gap right here. It might happen this week and it might not happen this week. Now when we go to the daily time frame, price has taken out our daily liquidity. When we look at price from this perspective, I am seeing that we had this break of structure right here and this other block here. We have this other block right here, and if you go to the 4 hours, we are going to refine that other block even much more better. So 4 hours, we delete this, and on the 4 hours you see that we had a change of character here. All right, why do I say it's a change of character? Because initially price had broken below this low here on the daily time frame. Let me take you back to the daily. You understand what I'm talking about and why I'm saying that is a change of character. On the daily, we had this break of structure to the downside here. Now when you go back to the 4 hours time frame, you are going to see this is the line that I took out on the daily time frame, right? So you see that price change character from here, and we have this other block right here. So this other block has been refined. It's here. So you see that price has tapped into this other block. Now I will be looking out to buy on euro on GBP JPY. Why am I saying so? Because I have a fair value gap somewhere here. We have a fair value gap here. But let's not forget that the overall trend of GBP JPY is bullish. On the daily is bullish. On the 4 hours it's retracing. So we are not done with our retracement. That is what I think. So I think the price is going to tap into this fair value gap, and it's going to drop here before we are going to start having buys from here to the upside. And if we are going to buy, we are going to buy in order to clear this high here. So that is it. I don't know if so if we are selling, we are selling up to here, and if you are buying, we are buying to clear this high here and this high here, or maybe clear up to this zone here, or maybe clear up to this high here. That is what I am looking out for. So for Euro USD, I'll be looking out to sell, and on GBP JPY, overall balance that I have this week, I closed the week with $4,922. Now let's walk into the lessons that I learned. One of the lessons that I learned is that each time you take a stop loss, it is a sign that you did not follow your strategy, or you did not follow your plan. Sometimes it is better to follow your plan and take a loss than to go against your plan and get a win. The second lesson that I learned is that it is very important to trade according to the trend of the market. This is what I mean. If your 4 hours is bullish and you go to the 15 minutes to look for entry, you should be looking for buy setup and not sell. Because I talk a lot of the reason why I lost some of my trade this week was because I was selling in a buying market, or I was buying in a selling market. Those are some of the things that really played into my losses this week. Okay, another thing that I realized also was that patience. I still don't have a lot of patience with waiting for my setup to completely play out. What I mean is that sometimes I am in a trade and I will leave that trade before the trade even hits TP or stop loss, and immediately I leave the trade, that trade just start walking. It's like someone was holding the setup. Like when I was in, there was someone who was holding onto that setup, like, okay, don't move. But immediately I leave, the trade just goes straight to TP. And that is another lesson. And the last lesson that I'm trying to talk about here is that in as much as we are traders, we are still human beings, and our emotions are always going to play a huge role in our trading lifestyle. This is what I mean. On Thursday, I placed random trades. I'm going to leave the screenshot to those trades here. I placed random trades because I was bored, and out of boredom I lost money. Initially in my head it was like, okay, I'm just going to set this one. Even if I lose the money, I'm not going to feel bad. But unfortunately, or as life is, I started telling myself if I knew I wouldn't have, because I lost money. Though I made the money back, but the money that I lost, I could not use the win to compensate those losses. That is literally what I'm trying to say. Now let's walk into the next phase, which is going to be the things that I'm planning on improving this week. That is going to make my trading life even better. This week I am trading just with the 4 hours and the 15-minute time frame. Not because I cannot trade a 1 hour, but because as a student and a trader at the same time, I don't have time to be looking at the chart literally all the time. So I want to do something that is going to permit me to like just look at my setup and say, okay, I set my timer, and be like, the moment my price tick taps into my point of interest, I'll be observing to see how I can enter that trade at that period and time. Also, another thing that I like to improve is my entry time frame. I still find it difficult to, I still don't master my entry. I know my point of interest, but when it comes to entry, price will come to my entry. The moment I enter, price is going to hit me out and it's going to go straight to TP. A lot of times it has happened. So that is another thing that I need to work on. Also, the last thing is going to be to maintain a specific risk to reward. Not risk to reward, but risks. if I am saying that I'm risking $25, every trade that I take needs to be a $25 risk in order to make a $50 or $75 or $100. That is how it has to be henceforth. And that is the thing, those are the things that I plan on making, on improving, so that my trading lifestyle is going to be better next week. So as I said, I ended the week, or I closed the week with $4,922. And I must say that I am very proud of myself, because I have had this account since the month of February. I am still holding this account up to now. And one thing that this has taught me is that it is better to hold an account than to lose an account quickly, just because you were not patient enough. This has also taught me that I have become very patient with whatever I am doing. I am so proud of myself, of this level of patience. Most of the accounts that I've held before, I lost them in the same week that I bought those accounts, but this one is very different. I am also planning on buying a new account, and that is going to be a 25k account. So I'm going to be trading that 25k account, and I'm going to be sharing specific trading on how I'm going to pass that account on. In fact, everything I plan on doing to pass this 25k account. And I pray like, and I really hope that I stick to this plan of mine that I'm going to be having. Okay, that is literally it, and let's talk about BPJPY I'll be looking out to buy. So that is literally what I have to share with you in today's video, and I hope that you guys learned one or two from the mistakes that I made, and together we are going to become better traders. So I'm going to see you in the next video, and goodbye.